would you give the blueprint to Terence to beat Canelo Alvarez?
Just need to do his job, what he's doing well. You know, he's changing his stance, he's moving a lot, you know, he's keeping distance. Like this he could win, of course, not with changing punches with him.
Dmitry Bivol stuns the boxing world by backing Crawford to beat Canelo, calling the American his personal favorite over the Mexican legend.
Who do you think has more power out of the two?
Canelo, of course, he got used to this weight class more than Crawford. He needs to get used to this power, even he's big.
So how does Canelo beat Crawford? Do you think that's a stoppage?
He could beat him, he could stop him. It could happen anyhow, you know, from both of the sides. And Canelo, of course, will try to find...
Dmitry Bivol didn't hold back when asked to pick a side in the blockbuster fight between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. The former light heavyweight champion, who handed Canelo one of his only 2 career defeats, revealed that Crawford is not only his pick to win, but also one of his favorite boxers. Bivol, who outclassed Canelo in 2022 at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, explained that while he was initially unsure about Crawford jumping up 2 weight classes, he changed his mind after seeing the fighter's size, skill, and adaptability. This strong endorsement from someone who has already solved the Canelo puzzle adds more fuel to the growing belief that Crawford could pull off a massive upset on September 13th.
I think Crawford wants this fight a lot. He wants this fight, and I think he will be more active than Canelo's previous opponent, and he has different mentality. He has champion mentality. I think the fight will be much more interesting.
What do you make of the weight in that fight, the weight difference?
I think Crawford will not let Canelo just walking on the ring when he wants, you know, because we could see this fight. Canelo did everything. When he wanna rest, he could rest easy, you know, in this fight. Yeah, of course, when he wants to work, that guy didn't give him work. He just rest. And I think with Crawford, it will be harder to rest.
Who do you think wins?
I don't know. It's a very interesting fight, but I don't know. We will see.
The upcoming clash in Las Vegas is more than just a title fight. It's a generational showdown between 2 pound-for-pound elite. Canelo Alvarez, the undisputed super middleweight champion, enters the bout with a seasoned record of 63 wins, only 2 losses, and 2 draws, with 39 of those wins coming by knockout. His most recent outing was a unanimous decision victory over William Skull in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. A performance that kept his title collection intact, but didn't exactly silence the critics who question whether he's past his peak at 34.
More unrelated to this fight, but Turkey made it seem like you weren't going to be promoting the Terence Crawford-Canelo fight. Is there anything you can kind of clear up on that?
He made it feel like I wasn't?
Yeah, well, he said that someone else was promoting it. He didn't say no TKO, he just didn't include your name in a tweet, and people kind of freaked out online about like, where'd Dana go?
I'm going to tell you what's awesome, man. So there's a lot of things about boxing, but they don't say shit. I mean, nobody talks. It's the most amazing thing. If we sign a deal, I gotta fucking get on my phone quick and go, hey, we just fucking, because 90,000 people will be out there talking about it. These guys don't talk. I'm promoting the fight.
Meanwhile, Terence Crawford brings an unblemished 41-0 record to the ring, including 31 knockouts. His last fight saw him defeat Israel Madrimov by unanimous decision to capture the WBO interim super welterweight belt. Despite being the naturally smaller man, Crawford has made a career out of proving doubters wrong, and his belief in himself is mirrored by several respected voices in the boxing world.
You know, what about Crawford do you think can bridge the weight gap, or like with you, what did bridge the weight gap? Because a lot of people are just saying, hey, Canelo's just too big for someone like Terence.
I mean, that's true, but you know what? There's always a way. Put it that, there's always a way. There's always a way to win.
While Bivol's opinion carries the weight of experience, he isn't the only one leaning towards Crawford. Eddie Hearn echoed similar sentiments. He admitted that when the fight was first announced, he leaned toward Canelo due to the size advantage, but after witnessing Canelo's performance against Skull firsthand, Hearn began to shift his stance. He felt Canelo looked unmotivated in that fight and began to wonder if the Mexican star was nearing the end of his prime. According to Hearn, Crawford's self-belief and ring intelligence give him a legitimate chance to shock the world. He even went as far as to slightly favor Crawford now, calling the bout a true 50-50 matchup.
He has no doubt in his mind that he's going to win this fight. And anyone that has movement is going to cause Canelo problems at this stage in his career. And first, when the fight was made, I thought that Canelo Alvarez would be a huge favourite in this fight because of the size. But I really see it as a 50-50 fight. Like, I honestly probably favouring Crawford.
Wow.
Because of what I saw.
So you're gonna get another Canelo text.
Yeah, no. But I want Canelo to win. Just want to put that out there as well. But I see it like, I'm talking like 55-45, but I would always pick Canelo, but I just being, you know, leaving Times Square, I got on the plane with Crawford and we flew to I've spent a lot of time with him over the years, and he's a massive believer in himself, massive. And he's got a tremendous boxing IQ and he knows boxing inside out. And he's so convinced he wins this fight. And Canelo's got to switch up everything he's been doing in the last few fights. Like, a William Skull performance will not beat Terence Crawford. I don't think an Edgar Berlanga performance will beat Terence Crawford. I don't think a Jaime Munguia performance or a Charlo performance will beat Terence Crawford.
Even Mike Tyson weighed in with his thoughts, highlighting that size isn't everything in boxing. The former heavyweight champion pointed out how historical greats like Henry Armstrong have succeeded despite physical disadvantages, noting that heart and determination can close the gap when size separates two fighters. In Tyson's eyes, Crawford's grit makes him a real threat to the bigger man.
Another huge event brought by Saudi Arabia. Who do you think wins that fight? Is it maybe the weight too much for Terence Crawford?
You know, there's been men that beat people like Armstrong and McLaren and these guys. They're beating people bigger than them, 2 divisions bigger than them. It's not impossible, you know. And the Armstrong's a featherweight, and he beat the middleweight champ. At 130 pounds, he beat the welterweight champ. Then he fought a draw with the middleweight champ. So I think size means nothing. Determination means everything.
That belief is shared by other rising stars. Richardson Hitchens, a highly regarded contender, acknowledged that while Crawford is a different kind of fighter from those who've beaten Canelo in the past, namely Mayweather and Bivol, he still has what it takes to find his own way to victory. Hitchens emphasized Crawford's high ring IQ, stating that he doesn't need to copy anyone's style. Instead, simply being himself could be the key to beating Alvarez. However, he also made it clear that predicting a stoppage might be going too far. Given Canelo's legendary chin and track record, Hitchens questioned whether even someone as skilled as Crawford could manage to stop him inside the distance.
I think Terence Crawford is one of the most craftiest dudes that Canelo gonna be in the ring with. Hand speed, IQ, long arms, speed, power. You know, switch hitter. I just think that it's gonna be a lot for. It's gonna be something different for Canelo, but I think Canelo's Canelo. You know, Canelo been. First title defense was in 2011 versus Ricky Hatton, and he's still on top to the present time. So this is over 10 years. We're going on like 15 years of this guy fighting on the championship level. So there's nothing new for him. So I do believe that it's gonna be a huge fight for both guys. But obviously I'm backing Bud. You know, I have a personal relationship with Terence Crawford, and he's a black fighter, and I do want to see my own winning. I think, you know, Bud is a great guy, you know, especially always being hands-on with the young fighters coming up behind him, guys like me, Shakur, Devin Haney's, being in the gym with guys like us, and, you know, just giving us free game and shit like that. So I think that would be motivation for the young ones behind him, to show them like, yeah, like I could do it, like you could do it too. So I really want to see Bud win that fight, and I think that he can.
Shakur Stevenson, another elite talent and current WBC lightweight champion, is far more confident in Crawford's ability to not just win, but dominate. According to Stevenson, too much is being made of the size difference. He believes that Canelo's physical strength is being overblown, especially since he isn't exceptionally tall or long-limbed. Stevenson thinks Crawford's superior speed, timing, and ability to adapt mid-fight could make this less of a war and more of a showcase. In fact, he didn't rule out the possibility of a stoppage win for Crawford, suggesting the American could cook Canelo in a way fans aren't expecting.
I think Bud gonna cook Canelo. I think he's gonna cook him. I think, Canelo a hell of a fighter, but I think Bud just got all the tools to beat him.
You don't think the weight difference is gonna be too big of an advantage?
I think y'all make that something, in certain fights,
Boxing makes it something, not us.
like if this was like a Benavidez, he's actually a lot bigger than Bud, so that would like apply. But I feel like with Canelo, he's like physically kind of big, but like height-wise, he's kind of small. So I don't think so, no.
One of the strongest endorsements for Crawford came from Zab Judah, who didn't just back him to be competitive, he confidently predicted a stoppage victory. Judah pointed to Crawford's sharpness in training and how well he's handling the added weight, believing that his tactical edge would allow him to outthink and outmaneuver the heavier Canelo if the fight became a strategic battle.
Okay, what about Canelo and Crawford?
Crawford. No hesitation. No hesitation.
I want to see that fight.
Big Bud. Big Bud. We're going to have to roll Canelo up. We're going to have to pack him up, baby.
But how hard is the jump from 47 to 68?
I mean, listen, it's a very big challenge. But what I said, with his skills and the way he's adapted to the size, brother, when I seen him stand toe-to-toe and side by side, I said, game over. Terence Crawford. And listen, don't be surprised if he stops him. I'm telling you.
Who?
Don't be surprised
if Canelo stops Crawford.
Terence Bud Crawford stops Canelo.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I love you. Skills pay the bills. See that, Cody? Skills pay the bills.
But that level of confidence isn't shared by everyone, especially not by David Benavidez. As one of the top contenders at super middleweight, Benavidez respects Crawford's skills but sees real danger in the weight jump. For him, moving from 154 to 168 isn't just a leap on the scales, it's a step into a division full of strong, experienced fighters. And Canelo, in particular, represents a serious threat with his strength and pedigree.
Terence Crawford, does he have an opportunity to beat Canelo?
I think if anybody has a chance to beat Canelo, I think it's Terence Crawford. His IQ is on another level. He's a great fighter and he's strong. It's just that it's a lot of weight. I wouldn't be surprised if Terence Crawford wins. Wouldn't be surprised if he loses either. Terence Crawford, when he went up against the best opposition, like Errol Spence, he showed what level he's on, what type of dog he is. So I don't know. You really have to let these fights play out to see what happens. He might get hurt. That might activate him to come back strong.
Could you still make 68?
I don't want to make 68.
No, I know you don't. Terence wins 68.
Yeah, well, if that's, yeah, I can make 168.
Adding to the skepticism, David's father, Jose Benavidez Sr., took an even dimmer view of the matchup. He anticipated a dull fight, suggesting Crawford would avoid engagement and fight cautiously, similar to how William Skull and Jermell Charlo did against Canelo. He doesn't expect Crawford to take the kind of risks that would make for an exciting or decisive performance, predicting a fight that might disappoint fans in terms of action.
Crawford's a little guy, He's coming up 2 divisions to fight Canelo Alvarez, and you think he's gonna go toe-to-toe with Canelo? Come on, man. Terence Crawford's a great fighter, really good fighter, but that's too much weight for him. So he's gonna try to survive and move around and try to win the round. That's what's gonna happen. I think Canelo at the stage right now, his legs are not the same. The body's not responding the same. So I think he's gonna have problems trying to catch Terence Crawford, to be honest with you. And I think it's gonna be the same fight. I think it's gonna be a boring fight. It's gonna. I'm hoping that it's a little bit exciting because I heard that Canelo was the worst fight ever on pay-per-view to throw the less punches in history. So we're hoping to see a great fight, a good fight, but that matchup is not a matchup to be exciting.
Legendary champion Manny Pacquiao offered a more balanced outlook. While he praised Crawford's speed and evasiveness, he didn't overlook the challenges that come with facing a physically dominant opponent like Canelo. Though Pacquiao refrained from making a bold prediction, his tone suggested a slight lean toward the Mexican champion, while still acknowledging that Crawford's skills could make things interesting.
Canelo versus Crawford. Crawford's moving up like 20 pounds. What do you think?
Good.
Good for Canelo.
Good for Canelo? Manny, any advice on Crawford moving up in weight? You did it so many times. Any advice for Crawford moving up in weight? You did it so many times and you were successful. What do you tell Crawford? Any advice?
My advice to him is just focus on speed and the
Amir Khan, one of the rare fighters to have shared the ring with both men, added a unique layer to the conversation. Having been knocked out by Canelo and later stopped by Crawford, Khan compared their power and came to the conclusion that while Canelo hits harder, Crawford's punches carry enough sting to command respect, even at the higher weight. He felt that Crawford could push Canelo back, but acknowledged the natural strength difference was still in Canelo's favor.
Crawford potentially fighting in September. You're going to get asked a lot about this fight, but as you sit here, you know, sort of quite a few months away, how do you look at the fight between Canelo and Crawford?
I mean, look, there's weights for a reason in boxing, and even though I got a huge respect for Terence Crawford for showing the balls that he wants to go in the ring and fight a beast like Canelo, but like I said, Canelo, maybe Crawford sees something that you know, other people are not seeing against Canelo, which is like maybe he's gone past his sell-by date. And maybe Crawford is the guy to catch him at the right time, you know. So let's see. I mean, I think it's a brilliant fight. Let's see if it happens. But like I said, if it doesn't happen, obviously I'm going to support my boy, Terence Crawford. He's a good friend of mine. Obviously we fought each other, but sometimes you put that to a side. And he shared the training camp with me last time. He spent some good time with me. I was at his house, and he always shows love. So look, he's one of the best fighters in the world. For him to go up 2 divisions is something I did back in the day when I was at the peak of my career after beating like Devin Alexander and all the big names. So look, I wish him all the very best, and I think he can do it. You know what I mean? One thing about Terence Crawford, he has great box IQ. His IQ is so perfect where he'll see everything. So yeah.
I was going to ask
Jermall Charlo, who saw his twin brother Jermell struggle and lose decisively after bulking up to fight Canelo, warned Crawford not to make the same mistake. For Jermall, it's less about trying to match Canelo's size and more about preserving what makes Crawford dangerous: his speed, agility, and boxing IQ. He urged the Nebraska native to stick to his natural game and avoid altering his style too drastically for the sake of size.
Crawford. All right. My brother fought Canelo, not me. I like Crawford in this fight, and he get to stay big. But my brother even told me that was his mistake that he made. He thought going up in weight, I got to get massive, I got to get big to beat Canelo. It made him slower, it made his reflexes slower. He'll tell you himself. He didn't feel like the Jermell Charlo that y'all seen him fight Tony Harrison. Crawford, I feel like that's the same thing as happening. You want to get big to try to absorb Canelo punches and all this, but that's not, technically, that's not the Crawford that we're going to see. And then Crawford going up there to fight Canelo at 68, when he's not a 68-pounder, where's the motivation? Y'all got to think about it like that.
Big for Crawford.
The money is good, but we don't expect. I don't expect Terence Crawford to be the Terence Crawford that was knocking out Gamboa, doing all. I don't expect that type of Terence Crawford.
So does it look Canelo?
I'm not picking either one of their ass.
Concerns about the weight gap were echoed by rising star Jaron "Boots" Ennis. While Ennis respects Crawford's talent, he voiced uncertainty about jumping straight from 154 to 168 without any transitional fights. Skipping the middleweight division entirely might be too bold in his view, and could give Canelo a built-in advantage simply because he's more familiar and comfortable at that weight.
But I think you gotta lean more towards Canelo, because like I said before, he been putting big guys out and down, and Canelo not even really a 68 pounder. He probably really should be at 60 maybe, and he been hurting these guys. I think he be dropping these guys and things like that. So, and them guys be way bigger than him come fight night. I know that for sure. They be probably close to 200 pounds, and he dropping those guys like that. So I don't know. You know, it's gonna be a great fight. You know, the fans want to see it. So, you know, so be it. I think Crawford should take a warm-up fight, you know, at like 60, or like at least at 60, just to get his body the feeling of somebody a little bit bigger, and things like that. I know when you go up a weight, you gotta, develop that power and not develop the power, but like put that muscle on and be heavier and things like that. So he might not want to take a fight because he's trying to build up right now, but I think he should just to stay sharp and that way he don't have like a long layoff or anything like that.
Caleb Plant, who fought Canelo in 2021, brought a measured view to the table. He acknowledged both fighters' strengths but didn't choose side. From his perspective, the real intrigue lies in their mental toughness and how each man approaches adversity. Plant believes fans can expect a close, toe-to-toe contest, emphasizing the importance of mindset as much as technique or size.
Terence is not a regular guy. You know what I'm saying? He's special. And, Canelo, he's a top-notch fighter. World-class fighter, still on the pound-for-pound list, I'm sure towards somewhere near the top, and it's exciting. Terence is freakishly strong. He can punch. He's got good crack. He can fight from both ways. Orthodox southpaw. He can fight at mid-range, close range, outside, and he can fight going both ways. So it's exciting. It's exciting. It's a big question mark on the end of it, though. So. That's why, I'm sure all of us are excited for that bell to ring and, be able to find out firsthand.
Rolando Romero didn't see the matchup as nearly that, drawing parallels to Amir Khan's failed challenge of Canelo. Romero dismissed Crawford's chances outright, arguing that the physical disparity alone made the fight a mismatch. He predicted an early and one-sided finish in favor of Canelo, doubting Crawford could take the power shots he would inevitably face.
So, all the people who think Crawford would even have a single chance against Canelo, they're fucking stupid.
Really, you have a way with words like nobody else.
No, bro. I hate it when people say that. They're fucking stupid.
Eddie Atlas, always outspoken, challenged Canelo's track record by suggesting that some of his past victories may have been shaped by matchmaking and physical advantages. On the flip side, he praised Crawford's discipline and precision, noting that these traits could give him a fighting chance, especially if Canelo comes in overly confident or dependent on his size. For Atlas, Crawford could defy the odds, but only with a flawless performance.
He had trouble with a 154-pound guy when he went up from welterweight to that. So now he's going up to 168. Teddy, come on. How are you going to make an argument? You're going to make an argument to the history of this sport, where little guys have been able to beat big guys, because you reverse it. You reverse who's got the advantage and the disadvantage. Yeah, the size, the power of Canelo, he's got the advantage. Then all of a sudden you go back and you say, wait a minute. The other guy's faster. The other guy's craftier. The other guy has more options. The other guy is slicker. Oh, maybe he's got the advantages. Like the first time Pacquiao fought De La Hoya. And I know De La Hoya was having trouble with weight and all that. I get it, and that's fair. But still, I remember I picked that one. Every once in a while I pick one right. I remember that I picked that one where Pacquiao's going to win. And I said, yeah, you're saying that De La Hoya's bigger, he's stronger, he's got the power edge, he's got this edge, but the other guy's quicker. And that's going to be an edge, and it was an edge. So at the end of the day, the people that thinks Crawford is very, very special. I'm not saying Canelo's not, but I think he's special in a different way, where he's got instincts that not everyone has. Yeah. That it's the timing, it's the instinctual things, the X factors, the intangibles that he has, and I think they're going to show themselves. I really do. And
Jim Lampley offered a slightly more traditional breakdown. While he leaned toward Canelo due to the natural size difference, he also praised both men for their long-standing excellence. He pointed out Crawford's adaptability, suggesting that his ability to switch gears between attack and defense could be a game changer late in the fight when stamina becomes a factor.
In the sport, you're not going to beat Canelo until somehow over a long period of time Canelo beats himself. If he gets tired of all the discipline he has had to employ to make all the money he's made, if he has enough giant ranches in the Yucatan, if he has enough beautiful horses, if he has had enough unforgettable dinners with Mexican billionaires in Mexico City and Vegas, then maybe. But my guess is he will retire without incurring another loss because it's important to him to do that.
Former world champion Kell Brook approached the fight with measured caution. Though he respected Crawford's skills, he worried that the jump in weight could expose him, especially in exchanges where he's more willing to take risks than a defensive master like Floyd Mayweather. Brook believes this could leave Crawford open to Canelo's heavier punches.
Well, I don't know, you know, I think when we look back at Mayweather when he beat Canelo, he's a mover. Crawford's not really like Mayweather in that aspect. He's more, you know, he kind of sets his feet. He's cute with how he approaches chucking shots and moving. You know what I mean? I think it's a different fight to Mayweather, and Canelo's obviously a different fighter from when he boxed Mayweather. But like I say, it's one of them what we've got to tune into and watch. You know, both unbelievable fighters, but I'd have to favour Canelo. Just his size and his experience and just his ring generalship, you know, he's got confidence, he's big, he's strong. You know, Crawford's more of a smaller guy, sharp fighter. You know, he's number one as well, you know. But like I said, in my opinion, I've got to lean towards Crawford.
Trainer Robert Garcia took a technical angle, predicting Crawford might start strong thanks to his quick feet and sharp movement, which could throw off Canelo's timing early on. However, Garcia ultimately favored Alvarez, banking on the Mexican's consistent pressure and punishing body work to gradually wear Crawford down as the rounds progressed.
Just, you know, use your skills, speed, try to fight on the outside, you know, and you know, he does have skills, man. He is a real talented fighter, so I think he's gonna put up really good rounds, maybe at least 5 or 6 rounds. He's gonna put up really good rounds. Eventually, I think later rounds, Canelo starts catching him, breaking him down. But I do see Crawford putting up. Crawford's, you know, he's the man. He's pound for pound one of the best fighters in the world. He's very talented. I think he will put up a good fight.
You said Canelo maybe later in the rounds comes on, you know, and puts pressure on him. But Canelo more recently, the later rounds, you know, it's a little like slower, maybe gives up a couple of them because he's already kind of won. That'd be kind of a different strategy, right? Like, can he still do that?
It has to, but he has to, because I think the first half, I think it'll be Crawford's fight. You know, I might be wrong also, because Canelo's also very talented. Let's not take that away from him. He's very talented, but I do see Crawford maybe taking the first few rounds, the first half of the fight, and then Canelo forcing himself to pressure and try to dominate it that way, because knowing that he might be a little bit behind, he's gonna be forced to do it. And he's got the strength, he's got the power, he's got the skills to do that too.
Julio Cesar Chavez was among the most dismissive, stating outright that the physical mismatch made the fight more spectacle than true sporting contest. In his view, Crawford simply doesn't have the size or strength to survive against a full-size super middleweight like Canelo, and he foresaw an early, emphatic win for the Mexican star.
Es una pelea muy dispareja, la verdad. Crawford es un gran peleador, pero no tiene nada que hacer en ese peso. Con todo respeto, él va por el dinero y Canelo lo va a noquear.
The two fighters are going to be different weight classes, even though they're going to fight on a specific weight. He believes that they're just going because of the money, Crawford. But probably Canelo is going to...
Errol Spence Jr., who was thoroughly outclassed by Crawford last year, took a more respectful position, acknowledging the massive challenge ahead. Spence still believed that Crawford's focus and mental strength could carry him through. If there's anyone capable of pulling off this kind of leap in weight and still performing at a high level, Spence felt it was his former rival.
Yeah, I don't know if he's going to win or lose, but I definitely be going Crawford, I think. I think if anybody can pull it off, he can pull it off. He's chasing greatness, so why not? Canelo came up to 175 and all that, and fought Kovalev and fought the other guy too. So I mean, if he can do it, and he started at 147. So I mean, if he's doing it, why can't Crawford do it?
Tyrone Davis, who has sparred or trained around both fighters, emphasized Crawford's physical transformation and readiness for the challenge. He admitted that Canelo has the edge in experience at 168, but felt Crawford's intelligence and meticulous preparation could level the playing field more than people expect.
I'm top level. Have you been in there with Crawford? Yeah. So you've been in there with Crawford. You've been in there with Canelo. What can you take from sparring both of them to gauge what's gonna happen in September?
Preparation is gonna definitely be everything. Crawford adjusting to the 168 pound division. I know he's been sitting at a heavier weight for a while, but like, you know, he's been showing his training and stuff. So that's definitely gonna help him. Canelo experience. You got Crawford, got great experience as well. It's gonna be a great fight. It's gonna be a good chess match. I expect a great fight. If I had to favor somebody, I would just pick Canelo because of the weight disparity. Canelo is naturally like sits really well at 168, and it's just always tough for a guy to come to 168 and come from that many weight classes up and do something like that. If he does it, you know, if anybody can do it, it'll be Terence Crawford.
Okay.
Roy Jones Jr. raised a different angle entirely, focusing on the pressure surrounding Canelo. According to him, as the naturally bigger and more experienced man at super middleweight, Canelo isn't just expected to win, he's expected to dominate. Crawford, on the other hand, is already taking a huge risk just by accepting the fight. In Jones's opinion, even a close or competitive loss could boost Crawford's legacy, while anything short of dominance could cast a shadow over Canelo.
Buddy Canelo?
Huh?
Buddy Canelo, who you got?
It's a tough fight. It's like I said, it's Canelo's fight to lose. If he fight the wrong fight, he's gonna lose.
The night of September 13th is shaping up to be one of the biggest moments in recent boxing history. With two generational talents meeting in the ring, backed by a $100 million promotion and global broadcast on Netflix, this fight has all the ingredients for an unforgettable showdown. Whether it ends in an upset or another title defense for Canelo, the world will be watching, and boxing might just change forever.